LGBTQ rights have been ushered alongside women's equality.
Ushered alongside
No,
or
not
infringing
alongside.
upon.
Sorry.
They've passed women's
Or
equality.
infringing upon, because it seems like they're strong. They get jobs done, the LGBTQ community. However, it diminishes those things set aside for women.
But when you see the marches, when you see the feminist marches, the LGBTQ community is present. When you see the LGBTQ community, heterosexual women are present.
They support, but does it infringe?
It can't. If they support each other, how does it infringe?
It's like they're taking over women's sports. They're taking over women products.
And you haven't had one woman come out.
What do you mean?
One professional athlete come out and say anything about it.
I mean, just making it seem
one person. You like, women win. Like, what do you mean? They're not taking over. One transgender woman won a couple of races. It's not like, oh, all women are threatened. Now, it could be a slippery slope, but you keep speaking as though you feel like something is being taken away.
I think because we don't see women transitioning into men winning Men of the Year. So I believe that spot it should have been for a natural born woman. My opinion.
Right, but if we're using the term woman as gender or sex or versus, then that's the slippery slope. If you allow someone to be called a woman, then they're up for nomination for Woman of the Year.
I wouldn't have, I don't know that I would have even had quorums about a transgender woman winning Woman of the Year if they actually done something, right? To deserve and earn that spot.
Like, aside from just being.
Right. Yeah. Like, so if this was this, I would have been more comfortable with, what's her name? Laverne Cox. If she won, she's done more, right? I might be more accepting of that. You just don't get, when Caitlyn won Woman of the Year, it was she's done nothing. What is she winning for? Right. So if we're gonna allow you to come into our space of womanhood and we're accepting you, you still gotta do women shit. Like, you still gotta do something. You have to show that you've earned this accolade, whatever it may be. Now in sports, that's not the same. Where you're just talking about, but she didn't do anything.
I'm just confused because the push for inclusivity with the LGBTQ community has been backed by heterosexual women. It's not backed by men, right? Because we get called all types of homophobes and all everything for voicing an opinion. So it's been ushered alongside. That was my point, Ieasha. That's why I don't think they infringe on it, because they've been side by side the whole time, the whole fight. And now here we are.
But do you think it's because women are more nurturing and accepting?
I'm sure that has something to do with it. I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
And feel less threatened, because I feel that if a transgender male went and dominated a male sport, y'all would be much more in a tizzy because it would be more threatening to you.
Well, I disagree with that. I don't know if we'd be in a tizzy. It would make us compete.
Yeah.
Because if a woman came into the NBA and dropped 30, we'd be like, whoa. Wait a minute. Somebody got to play some defense next game, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's
definitely gonna adapt him up.
We're gonna make sure that shit don't ever happen again, though.
Right.
Like that 30, that person getting cut, and then we're gonna put Bron on her next game.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, and that happens at the lowest level at the LA Fitness gym, right? A girl started dropping buckets. Nah, switch. I got her.
Yeah, you gotta switch. Like,
Right.
But at the highest level of sports, I think it's impossible for a woman to dominate the highest level of male sports. Yeah. Like, even when Serena was on, I think it was Letterman, she said men's tennis is a totally different game. It's not even the same game.
Right.
Yeah.
Just the speed of the ball. It's just
back in the day. Billie Jean King, wasn't it her? And she played.
Yes, it was.
And won. and
She
won.
did. She did.
It wasn't
And
so
John McEnroe got in trouble for comparing Billie Jean King and Serena Williams. He said Serena will be ranked 200 in the nation, or 200 in the world as a
Yeah.
men's competitor if she were to cross over into men's tennis.
Right. So there's that one unicorn, but it's not.
Yeah.
That's not
And
the norm.
also, Serena would beat the Snoop Dogg shit out of Billie Jean King too, though.
Absolutely.
Like that's
different
the
day.
other.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Christy.
No, I was saying it's a different day and time. The game
Yeah,
has
like
changed.
so I don't know. It just weird. So East, just let me get this straight, bro.
Do you call her bro?
Yeah, I mean she with all the pronouns and shit. So I just figured I'd throw it in there. Sis, okay. So you good with calling them what they want to be called, but only women can have babies. I just want to be clear.
Genetically, only women can produce children.
Okay. And you feel like, even though, because Sean is right, the marching side by side is there, but it all people can use people are over. I mean, kingdoms in the past have been overthrown by their closest friends, closest associates. John Gotti, Sammy the Bull. It could be the close person next to you. So I think there's some truth to what Ieasha's saying. I don't know.
Yeah, in response to the question, it can't be men that come up and say, "Wait a minute, that dude or that transgender woman cannot compete." It has to be women to come up and say,
Right.
It can't be men, because we're gonna give this flashlight, or you in the closet, or you homophobic, or you this and that. You can't talk about him. It has to come from women.
But women are more accepting and more nurturing.
But you guys are being replaced. Christy, why?
It's ridiculous. Nobody's being replaced. I was born a woman. I'm a woman. Hear me roar. Like, I haven't seen a transgender on a tampon commercial. Like, what are y'all talking about?
No, but I would
ain't seen
feel
the
away
tampon
if I
commercial.
trained my entire life for a sport and I've excelled my entire life as a woman, and then here comes John, that's now Jackie, and I'm like, I worked my entire life for this, and they beat me.
Absolutely,
feel
that's
away.
unfair, and that's completely ridiculous that is even happening.
I'd feel away. He got it, like you.
Absolutely, but all this other stuff, I just don't feel like my womanhood is being threatened.
But your roles, though,
I don't
Chris.
feel like the state of femininity is under attack.
No.
Genders are coming. Like, no.
But when you're talking about in the world of sports,
Yeah, sports is the one thing that's determined by physical ability.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous for men to compete, or a transgender woman to compete against natural born women.
Yeah. We out.